Hello and welcome everyone. Web 3.0. Isn't that the latest buzzword in technology? It is a growing global phenomenon, a new generation of the web. It is expected to bring new avenues for websites and applications based on blockchain technology. Did you, for example, know that 11% of global Web3 talent is in India? We are the third biggest talent pool in this area. Today we have a Web3 talent pool which stands at 75,000 plus. It is growing at the fastest rate worldwide. Demand for Web3 talent is only going to increase. That brings me to a question: what exactly is Web3? So today, we will look at a broader understanding of the diverse possibilities with Web3 and what are the skill sets required to make a career in Web 3.0. Amrita and I from NASSCOM are absolutely delighted to have with us Mr. Sanjay Oja, Senior Partner, Business Transformation Services, IBM India and South Asia, who will help us understand Web3 in detail. Prior to this role, Sanjay led Accenture's Applied Intelligence and Digital Business for banking and capital markets in North America. Welcome Sanjay.
Thank you, Kamna. Thank you for having me here. I'm excited about our conversation.
Same here. We can't wait to get started with this buzzword, which is Web 3.0. So what exactly is this Web 3.0?
I think Web 3.0 has to be in the context of what is Web 1.0 and Web 2.0. Web 1.0 was probably more static form of web, somewhere from mid-90s to 2004, where static information sitting in different parts of internet. Somewhere mid-2000 till about last few years, web as we know is dominated by a lot of intermediaries, application providers like Google or Microsoft or Apple or Facebook. They become interchange for information, two-way communication, so on and so forth. In some ways, there is a channel or there is intermediary that controls, what is shared and how it is shared. Web 3.0 is a decentralized web, which is users and communities. They are not intermediated by any other large application or technology platform provider, which I think is a huge shift, because this fundamentally changes in the way dynamics works across providers of information and users and creators and users of information.
Thank you so much for that, Sanjay. That's really enlightening. But in order to simplify this further, what is exactly the unique features of Web 3.0 that you think which sets it apart from the versions that we have been working on currently?
Amrita, that's a great follow-up question. I think at the heart of this Web 3.0 lies permissions. Right now, it's not that the user community requires permission of an intermediary. This is a shared web where ability to control information, permissions lies with the users and community, which I think is the way, and there are several use cases that are being spun out of that. As we have conversation going forward in this dialogue, you'll realize that what this fundamental change in the approach of a permission determined and a permission free web or interaction over web means. And that probably, in my view, is the defining feature of Web 3.0.
Excellent. And taking this further, when you say it's either a permission free or a permission restricted, could you explain with a real life scenario as how it will impact the world, whether if there is a piece of content which is circulated with permission or there is a permission that is restricted?
I think there's a real life example of, all of us have heard about cryptocurrencies, which is a common language used for something called DeFi, decentralized finance. Decentralized finance means there are distributed ledgers where two parties, unrelated, not connected parties, can do direct transaction without an intermediary, and they can do monetary transaction. Cryptocurrencies or decentralized finance works on the technology called blockchain that enables trust between two parties that are unknown and unrelated. That is probably one of the most profound examples, something which is happening right now. Of late, there has been certain issues around certain cryptocurrency exchanges in US, but then those issues are just one-off issues that happen in evolution of any industry. But the fundamental sound principles of blockchain technology and how it enables monetary transactions via cryptocurrency still remains a very strong use or solid use case. That is a real-life example. A lot of central banks have started developing their own digital currency, and that is in response to having a currency which is not supported by sovereign governments, which is cryptocurrency, which is also a use case of blockchain, which is also in some ways one component of Web 3.0.
Okay, so that really clears it up for us, Sanjay. Then my next question would be, do you think blockchain basically would become the pillar or the spine on which this Web 3.0 will be based, and what role do you think it will play apart from, crypto is one example in the larger context?
So first of all, crypto will continue to evolve. Its adoption in the user community, its adoption in a non-formal manner, particularly in businesses, though there will be a resistance from the government, but we have a feeling at some point of time, governments will adopt some form of cryptocurrency. In case of India, the central government has announced a digital currency, which works on the same model. So it will continue to evolve until the time when adoption grows, both in the formal economy and also in informal economy. As far as other use cases are concerned, one profound use case which I really like is a social platform called Follow, which is developed by users, and users are the ones who develop it and they benefit it. They control the information that is shared. Their social identities are monitored by themselves. It is not controlled by a third-party platform. That is another such example. There could be other real-life use cases which are very relevant for example, land records, where the immutability of record is as a fundamental or at the core of trust that is that the landowners or landholders have in the document created by the government. Blockchain technology can be of immense help, and these are the places where blockchain enabled Web 3.0 or blockchain technology enabled record management is helping government in managing their day-to-day operations. So these are three examples that come to my mind: crypto, social profile like Follow on a social platform like Follow, and then immutability of land records enabled by blockchain technology. And there will be many more that will be spinning off in years to come.
That's very interesting to know that there are so many use cases which Web3 is facilitating. So if, as you said, Web3 continues to evolve and more use cases are likely to spin off. So for our learners who are looking to make a career in Web 3.0, what are the skills which you say would be helpful, or where should they begin to start thinking of a career in Web 3.0?
That's a great question. I think we are a country which is uniquely placed with 100,000 engineers and technologists coming out of colleges and joining workforce every year. All of them come with some fundamental programming skills. Some of them have computer science background. A lot of them have coding and programming knowledge. I think that is a sound platform to start with, because some of the basic skills required if you really want to get into Web 3.0 development from a developer community standpoint, it starts with those fundamental knowledge of those programming skills. Then there are adjacent skills around Web 3.0. As the name suggests, there is a aspect of web and consumption. So experience and UX designing, front-end designing is going to be a key part of that. Those 3 or 4 starter skills, in my view, are a great place where some of the engineers can start thinking of building a career in the Web 3.0. But there are certain specialized skills that are required, around Web 3.0 that we can speak about, that will make sure that they get into a space that they have not experienced before.
Thank you so much for that, Sanjay. So we have talked about the skills to get them started, and you have given us some sneak peek into the adjacent skills. So is there some specific adjacent skills that you would like to enumerate and just generally give some advice to the youth out there?
So apart from the adjacent skills where they can start off, because India is a hub for technology workforce. We are known as a global technology service provider country. If you really want to specialize into Web 3.0, fundamentals of blockchain technology, I would say will rank number 1. Data structures, because blockchain technology essentially operates on the concept of data structures and algorithms that define those data structures. Then there are aspects around, at advanced stages, Ethereum virtual machines. Then technology around non-fungible tokens. And then going back to what I earlier said about UX and web designing, some of the core skills around Java and C++, because in some ways they are staple. Everybody needs to know them. Anybody who ventures into Web 3.0 wants to build a career needs to familiarize themselves with these technologies and then pick 1 or 2, depending on which aspect of Web 3.0 they really want to focus their career on.
Sure. And in fact, Sanjay, moving on, is there, as we know, technology gets obsolete very fast these days. New and newer technologies are something which keep coming up. What is that 1 or 2 things you would say that learners should do to future-proof themselves and their careers from this technology getting obsolete?
I'll go back to 101 of what is required at a workplace, or what I call the life skills, which is we need to be curious like the child. They are very curious, so they learn very fast. Then keeping a tab on the trends, what is really going on in the economy, in the scientific world, in the technology world, what is on the horizon. Learning new skills, not to be afraid of venturing into new areas. Risk-taking, that's a very important aspect, because there is a tendency for everybody to feel comfortable in the languages, the capabilities they know of, and making oneself comfortable every day, uncomfortable every day. If you are in a comfort zone, most likely, you're going to be relying on the skills of the past. Idea is to keep track of what is coming up, what is on the horizon, and make an effort to go and learn them. If you focus on these few, what I call the life skill or workplace skills, it's going to certainly give you higher chances of future-proofing your career.
Thank you so much, Sanjay. That was amazing.